Save all your talk, save all your banter. Here we go. We got to get it rocking. Troops make it to a wild card berth. Yeah, bounced out in the first round. Martin, numbers
Couldn't contain Lamar Jackson. Only one team can, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. I'd like to add some points to all of our teams.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Guerrilla Podcast Sports, also known as GPS. It's your three hosts with the most, Uncle P, Chris B, and my man Peter Dubs, podcasting from the sports labs in the DMV in Pittsburgh, PA, and produced by Storytime Entertainment. So with week 12 of the 2020 NFL Wear Your Damn Mask and Social Distancing season nearly in the books, we have a lot of meaningful, exciting games to dissect, my friends. Did you guys watch the game where it was the passing of the torch?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So it's kind of like, I believe it's permanently been passed from TB12 to PM15.
Basically.
PM15. Get it. All right. So it's like Larry Holmes when he was fighting Ali. You know what I'm saying? When Larry was in his prime, like, man, that wasn't fair, man. Come on. You shouldn't be beating that older and up like that. You know, 17-0, jumping out to a quick lead. It's too much for them to handle, man. I guess there's a place for him somewhere in Arizona to retire very soon, him and his boy Gronk. But until then, they put up a few numbers. I mean, quarterback comparisons kind of sounds like this. TB12, 27 of 41, 345, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not that bad. 1 sack, QBR 60.3. But PM15, 37 of 49, 462. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was sacked twice, but a QBR of 91.1.
Not fair. It's not fair.
They don't like that radio station, 91.1.
Yes, FM.
So, running game, not worth mentioning on both sides. However, the receiving was a much different story. After getting torched by the Rams, I guess it was like last week or something like that in the outing. The secondary gave up the Bucks. Yeah, they gave up how many? Whoa. 13 catches, targeted 15 times. The Cheetah, 269. Is that a record? I don't know, but 3 touchdowns to go along with it. His first was a jump off 75-yarder. Did y'all see that?
That man eviscerated that secondary.
Man, that's not fair, man. It's like someone got a joystick up in the front.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I mean, he just stopping on the dime. The next one was like a 44-yarder, I think. Yeah, it didn't get any better. So that yak, there's a lot of yak, boy. Woo! Whoever the Cheetah or PM15 have on their fantasy team, they winning. They are winning. I might not know a lot about fantasy, but when I look at the numbers, I'm like, yeah, that's good, right? Check. On the other hand, Mr. Gronk, there was a Gronk sighting. Y'all know that? Gronkowski? He's still alive, y'all. I think he found
nice.
A little bit.
Yeah, he found his sea legs. What did he get? 6 catches for 106. I mean, Godwin chipped in 8 for 97. Mike Evans, 3 for 50 for 2 touchdowns, but they just use him in the red zone, it seems like. And and Rojo had a 37-yarder for a touchdown. And on defense, JPP had 1 sack for Tampa Bay and 1 tackle for loss. Also, the total yardage for KC was 543 to Tampa Bay's 417. So that's the tail of the tape. Also, time of possession, 37 for the Chiefs, the defending champions, and 23 for the fake champions, the wannabe champions.
Paper champions.
You're not playing a Super Bowl in your stadium. Get it out.
It's never happened.
Not going to happen again. It's wait till next year. All right. So if there is football. Turnovers, KC won that battle 2-1. I think it was the two, tosses, and I think my man fumbled once. First downs, 26-20, not that much of a difference. But the Bucks face the Vikings next, and KC takes on the quarterbackless Broncos, and John Elway must be rolling over in his grave, y'all. So we're saying all that, man. Look, man, y'all picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but you didn't pick them to win this game. Would you like to add anything, any excuses before we move on?
Nope. I thought the Russian was going to attack KC's defense and expose them. I thought they would lead more on that instead of TB12, but
y'all left me on the island, and that island worked out. So hey.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
Look it. All right, so I'm gonna do a no look, but instead I'm gonna make sure it's a bounce pass. It's a safe pass to my man Chris B.
All right. Let's get it. It was a big day for my man's Derrick Henry and AJ Brown. They put the Titans back in the driver's seat of the AFC South, beating the Colts 45-26. This game was basically over at halftime because they led 35-14. My boy Ryan Tannehill had 13 for 22, 221 yards, a touchdown, averaging 10 yards a pass with a QBR of 87.7. He was the top 5 in week 12, and he also had himself a rushing touchdown. And of course, you already know who carried that offense on their back. Braun and cleats, Derrick Henry, 27 carries, 178 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a hat trick.
Mama, there go that man again.
Average 6.6 yards a carry. That's insanity, man. Like, boy's a beast. And then AJ Brown had 4 receptions for 98 yards, a touchdown, averaging 24.5 yards of reception on 6 targets. And then he also returned an onside kick to the house, Amazon Prime style. You already know. Corey Davis had 3 receptions for 70 yards, averaging 23.3 a reception. And on defense, Kenny Vaccaro, 9 tackles, 7 solo. Sacks went to Jeffrey Simmons and Harold Landry III. And an interception by Breon Borders. They held Indianapolis scoreless in the 3rd quarter. On the other side, Phillip Rivers, 24 for 42, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, averaging 7 yards a pass with a QBR of 51.1. I didn't know Jonathan Taylor wasn't playing because their lead back was Nyheim Hines, 10 carries for 29 yards, averaging 2.9 yards a carry and 2 rushing touchdowns to Jacoby Brissett. Receiving wise, T.Y. Hilton had a T.Y. Hilton type game. 4 receptions, 81 yards, a touchdown, averaging 20.3 yards of reception on 5 targets. And then Nyheim Hines, the second leading receiver, was 8 receptions, 66 yards, averaging 8.3 a reception on 10 targets. And then Eagles fans, close your ears again. Trey Burton, 3 receptions, 42 yards, a touchdown, averaging 14 yards, a reception on 6 targets. And that touchdown catch was pretty good. He had some hands on that one. Threaded the needle, touchdown, all up in your face, Indianapolis. Or, I'm sorry, Titans. On defense, Darius Leonard led the way. He had 14 tackles, 10 solo, and a sack. Their only sack. And then there was no interceptions. And, of course, they couldn't stop the onslaught because Titans had their way with them the entire game. Scored every quarter. But let's get to the team stats. Titans had more first downs, 28-27. Better third down efficiency, 512 to 513. Better fourth down efficiency, got their only one, and then 50% on the Colts end. They also had more total yards, 449 to 336. Better average yards per play, 6.6 to 5. Indy gave up 2 sacks, but the Titans only gave up 1, and Indy turned the ball over, and the Titans didn't. The Titans did have more penalties, but the Titans also won time of possession, 35 to 24. Just straight, utter domination. They control their own destiny in first place, and the Colts must keep up in second. Now I pass it on to my good brother, Peter Dubs.
Thank you, young brother. So I bring to you the so-so game of the week. So-so standing for same old, between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay dominates as usual. By the way, that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, is now 20-5 lifetime versus Chicago. Green Bay dominates 41-25, and it was not that close. Chicago scored 15 points in the fourth period, and the game was already put away. Part of it being same old. Rodgers does what Rodgers does, and Trubisky does what he does, struggle. And he struggled mightily. So going to the stats, you got Trubisky, 26 of 46 for 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. He was sacked 3 times. His QBR was 50.2, and his rating was 74.7. On the other hand, you have that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. Pretty efficient, 21 of 29, 211 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks, 96.8 QBR, rating of 132.3. Sounds like a college game. In the rushing department, Chicago, Montgomery, 11 carries for 103 yards, no touchdowns, but his longest run was 57 yards. No one else went over 11 yards. And for the Packers, you have Aaron Jones, 17 carries, 90 yards, no touchdowns. He had a long of 16. You also had Jamal Williams, 17 carries, 73 yards, 1 touchdown, and his long was 17. No one else went over 12 yards for Green Bay. In the receiving category for Chicago, Allen Robinson, 8 catches, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good game for him. No one else went over 40 yards for Chicago. However, Montgomery did have 5 catches for 40 yards and 1 touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, again, only passed for 211 yards, but they were efficient yards. His receiving core, Tanyan, the tight end, 5 catches for 67 yards, 1 touchdown. His long was 39. Adams, 6 catches, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. Lazard, 4 catches, 23 yards, 1 touchdown. And Mercedes Lewis, the other tight end, 2 catches, 16 yards, but 1 touchdown. And this game featured Aaron Rodgers of old, backpedaling, throwing dimes for a touchdown, catching tight ends in the flat, wide open, tight ends backpedaling into the end zone. This was just domination by the Packers. Chicago did what Chicago has been doing offensively, which is they play into the defense's hands. One of Trubisky's turnovers ended up leading to a fumble recovery and a run-in for a touchdown.
Scoop is cool.
Our former Washington football team player, by the way, that we drafted. But anyway, going to the team stats, looks a little bit like this. First downs, Green Bay 28, Chicago 26. Third downs, Green Bay 6 of 11, Chicago 4 of 10. Time of possession, Green Bay 37 minutes, Chicago 22. So they won that battle by 15 minutes. And that is the tail of the tape right there.
Yep.
So with that said, I kick it up to you, Uncle Pete.
Yes, sir. Hey, Buffalo Bills 27, Chargers 17. The Buffalo Bills stampede was too much for the LA Chargers defense to handle. Both teams had franchise quarterbacks for the foreseeable future, though. But Justin Herbert, this just in, He's just a little bit better than most of these quarterbacks out here, these young quarterbacks, I should say. And I'll read a couple of names to you real quick. Because he's playing like a savvy veteran, you know, like a grizzled veteran. Almost like, may I say Dan Marino or Dan Fouts, one of those guys. I think you remember them Dubs. Yeah, and Chris, you must have seen some type of tape, man, because those guys were wonderful. So look, man, better than two, better than Danny, better than Carson, better than Kyler, better than Baker, better than Goff, better than Lamar. And yes, even better than Josh Allen, who he just beat. So I'm just saying, who he just lost to. But the Bills have a better all-around team right now. I see pinpoint accuracy coming from him, though. I mean, I'm telling you, just like one Dan Fouts back in the day. And let me give you some numbers, man. I mean, Dan Fouts had who? Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow. And these are Hall of Famers we're talking about right now.
Right.
Okay. But still, Keenan Allen, whoever he's bringing up right now, whoever's going to join him, they could also ride into the Hall of Fame with this kid. That's how good he is. Yeah, numbers real quick. QB comparisons. Justin Herbert, 31 of 52, 316, 1 touchdown, an interception, 3 sacks, QBR 46.5. Josh Allen, on the other hand, 18 of 24, 157. Sounds like he was game managing. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 sacks, QBR of 33.0, 9 rushes, 32 yards, and a touchdown. So he did something. Coach Beasley, on the other hand, he did throw a touchdown, even though he didn't catch a touchdown, to one Mr. Dawson Knox, I believe his name is. And the defense, the Bills linebacker A.J. Klein had 14 tackles, 1.5 sacks, or 1.5 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss, pass deflected, and 2 QB hits. Whew. Yeah, that guy is rocking, man. I'm telling you. I wish we had him. All right, come on. Hey, Wolf Hunter, get back in the game, man. All right, here we go. Let me get sidetracked real quick. The Bills led from start to end, and this is how and why the Bills are going to 8-3, and they lead the division by 1 game, I believe, over the Miami Dolphins, who are no longer missing in action, MIA. And the Los Angeles Chargers fall to 3-8. And they are now cellar dwellers in the AFC West, and they will face now the Patriots next week, and the Bills will go on to face the 49ers in the West. And with that, I'm going to give you a bounce pass to you, Chris B. Actually, no, not Chris B. Was that the live 5? No, to you, Peter Dubs.
Right, all right. So, New England Patriots versus the Arizona Cardinals. New England wins 20-17. In New England, by stopping Kyler Murray from getting into the house, keep their playoff hopes alive. Into the house meaning scoring. Kyler Murray was held scoreless in this game. Kicking it to the stats. Kyler Murray, 23 of 34, 170 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked twice. QBR 54.7. Well, Cam Newton looks at that and he says, you know what? I can do you one worse and I can still win the game. Cam Newton sounds like a rookie. 9 of 18 for 84 yards. He thinks his name is Dwayne Haskins. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Get this, lowest QBR of the week, 6.6. That's pretty disgusting. In the rushing category, Arizona, Kenyon Drake, 22 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyler Murray, 5 carries for 31 yards, held in check. No one else went over 30 yards for Arizona. For the Patriots, Damian Harris, 14 carries, 47 yards, no touchdowns. Cam Newton, 9 carries, 48 yards, no touchdowns. White, 5 carries, 18 yards, but yet 2 touchdowns. Interesting note with the rushing. At halftime, the score was 10-7 Arizona, and Arizona had a chance to go up 17-7 And they thought they had scored a touchdown, but that touchdown was reversed after replay. And then they went for it on 4th down and they failed. And the game at the end was tied 17-17. Arizona had another chance to win the game, but their kicker missed a 56-yard, missed a 56-yard field goal attempt. And then New England got the ball and they came in and they kicked the game-winning field goal. I didn't get to the receiving. In the receiving category, New England was pretty bad. Myers 5 for 52, Bird 3 for 33. No receiving touchdowns for New England. For Arizona, it was even worse. I lost it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But either way, it wasn't enough to win the game. Kyler Murray was held in check. There was no Larry Fitzgerald. D. Hopkins only had 55 yards receiving. Just numbers were down all across the board. Fairly boring game, actually, too. So with that being said, I'm kicking it back to you, Uncle Pete.
Yes, sir. Okay, so now we got the straight 8 going, and we have basically the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they beat the Jets. No big news here. 20-3. No offense. No offense whatsoever on the I was about to call them New Jersey Jets side, but whether you call them New Jersey Jets, New York Jets, you remember that when they used to be the New Jersey Jets.
That's right.
You don't care because they stink. They're not playing good. They're not worth mentioning. They're 0-11. And therefore, Fitzpatrick got in 24 of 39, 257, 2 touchdowns, 56.9 passer rating. Devontae Parker, 8 for 119. And Baker on defense had 5 tackles with half a sack. So pretty much it was an all-around effort, defensive effort, to keep these Jets in place right where they belong, in the hangar, and waiting to catch that flight to I guess, what is it? The wherever they're holding the draft this coming year, 2021, to try to get Trevor, but something tells me that he's going to refuse to play there. So with saying that, that's all I got for the Jets and the Dolphins for now, because it's not that much to talk about. So I'm gonna pass that on to you, Chris B.
Yeah. I got a little more interesting over here. I got Niners and Rams. The Niners are showing everyone that they're not giving up on the season, beating the Rams 23-20. Nick Mullins was 24 for 35, 252 yards, and interception, averaging 7.2 yards a pass with a QBR of 45.8. I'm sorry. Raheem Mostert, 19 carries, 43 yards, touchdown, averaging 2.7 a carry. And then Jeff Wilson Jr., 12 carries, 43 yards, averaging 3.6 a carry. And Deebo Samuel, 11 receptions, 133 yards, averaging 12.1 yards a carry on 13 targets. And then Kendrick Bourne, 3 receptions, 34 yards, averaging 11.3 a reception on 5 targets. On defense, Richard Sherman led the way with 7 tackles, 6 solo, and got an interception. And there's 2 sacks to Kerry Harder Jr. and a pick 6 by Javon Kinlaw. And 2 forced fumbles by Jimmy Ward. They held the Rams scoreless in the second quarter. And on the other side, Jared Goff, 19 for 31, 198 yards, 2 interceptions, averaging 6.4 a pass, QBR of 10.1, second worst in week 12. Cam Akers had 9 carries, 84 yards, touchdown, averaging 9.3 a carry. Robert Woods, 7 receptions, 80 yards, averaging 11.4 a reception on 12 targets. And Cooper Kupp, 2 receptions, 41 yards, averaging 20.5 yards on per reception on 5 targets. And then Josh Reynolds, 5 receptions, 40 yards, averaging 8 yards of reception on 6 targets. On defense, Troy Reader led the way, 15 tackles, 12 solo, and sacks to Aaron Donald and Morgan Fox, an interception by Jordan Fuller, and they held the Niners scoreless in the second. The Rams still only a game behind Seattle, but we know the Eagles aren't winning tonight. And the Niners are cellar dwellers. And I'll pass it on to Peter Dubs.
All right. Carolina Panthers versus the Minnesota Vikings. Teddy Bridgewater goes back home and they say, we still don't want you. Get out of here. We're going to beat you. Minnesota wins 28-27. Fairly exciting game. The most exciting aspect of the game was the young defensive player, Chen, for the Carolina Panthers. NFL record. First time ever a defender has scored a touchdown on back-to-back plays.
Wow.
He recovered a Kirk Cousins fumble, ran it in for a touchdown, and then later on on the very next series he got a pick six. Yeah. So looking at the numbers real quick, Teddy Bridgewater, 19 of 36, 267, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, QBR 53. And the rushing for Carolina, Mike Davis, 15 for 55, no touchdowns. Robbie Anderson, 4 catches, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. For Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, 35 of 45 for 307, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks, QBR 78. Dalvin Cook, 18 carries, 61 yards, no touchdowns. He did have a fumble. Jefferson, 7 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Don Beebe's son, 7 catches, 60 yards, 1 touchdown.
Them boys can play.
They can. Minnesota takes the win, and they keep their playoffs hopes alive at 5-6. Back to you, Uncle Pete.
All right. Hey, no longer the Doo-Doo Browns, but Cleveland Browns, whatever. And the Doo-Doo Jacksonville Jaguars. 1-10, baby, coming up the rear. I smell something. Do you smell what I smell? Yeah, a 2-point defeat. Come on, man. Everybody know this dude, Faker Mayfield, is playing to the competition. You mean you beat Jacksonville by 2 points? That lame schedule you got, that's the reason why y'all 8-3, beating up on the Cowboys, the dead. Oh, I was about to say something else. I can't say that no more. The midgets and the Eagles and what have you. But yeah, man. We have my man Baker, Faker, whatever, 19 of 29, 258, 2 touchdowns. Hey, Mike Glennon. You remember Mike Glennon?
Oh, yes.
He guy. He 20 of 35, 235, 2 touchdowns. Looks better than a lot of quarterbacks I know in the NFL right now. But yet, though, we still see these other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like him and my man, more important than that? Nick Chubb ran for 144. Team ran for 207. That pretty much put the game away right there. Jarvis Landry, shout out to him, 8 for 143 and a touchdown. And defense, they're all right, minus Mr. Garrett. And what do we have? What do we have here? Let's see. Yeah, time of possession, man. Time of possession was 32-28, which is pretty much even. First downs 25-22, pretty much even. But the game was won on yardage. Cleveland 459 and Jacksonville 375, and that's why the Doo-Doo Browns are in second place in the tough AFC North. So saying that, I'm gonna pass that on to you, Chris B.
Well, you got a doozy. I got another doozy. Raiders Falcons. The Raiders are fakers. And losing to the Falcons is 43-6. Come on, bro. Matt Ryan, 22 for 39, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, averaging 4.7 yards a pass. Terrible. QBR of 32.3, 7th worst in week 12. Ito Smith, 12 carries, 65 yards, a touchdown, averaging 5.4 yards a carry. And Brian Hill, 13 carries, 55 yards, averaging 4.2 yards a carry. Calvin Ridley, 6 receptions, 50 yards, a touchdown, averaging 8.3 a reception on 9 targets. And then Hayden Hurst, 4 receptions, 48 yards, averaging 12 yards of reception on 8 targets. On defense, Jacoby Tuioti Manor had 6 tackles, 4 solo, and a strip sack. There's also 2 more strip sacks, one to Stephen Means and Foye Oluokun.
Wow.
Yeah, It was a sack party because there's more sacks. 2 more sacks, one by John Kaminsky and a half sack to Tyler Davison and a half sack to Jalen Hawkins. And then there was a pick six by Deion Jones. They held Las Vegas scoreless in the first and fourth quarters. And on the other side, Derek Carr, 22 for 34, 215 yards, interception, 3 fumbles, averaging 6.3 yards a pass at a QBR of 14.3. Fourth worst in week 12. They even had to put in Nathan Peterman, 3 for 5, 25 yards interception. Josh Jacobs had 7 carries for 27 yards, averaging 3.9 a carry and a fumble. And then receiving, Hunter Renfrow, 7 receptions, 73 yards, averaging 10.4 reception on 9 targets. Henry Ruggs, the third, had 3 receptions, 56 yards, averaging 18.7 yards on 5 targets. Nelson Aguilar, 5 receptions, 54 yards, averaging 10.8 yards of reception on 6 targets. And on defense, 2 players with 10 tackles. Nicholas Morrow had all 10 of his solo, and Jeff Heath had 9 solo. With the sack to Nick Kwiatkowski, and an interception by Jonathan Abram. The Falcons still in third, while the Raiders stay in second. Now I'll pass that on to Peter Dubs.
All right. So we had the Cowboys and the Washington football team, and we had the Texans and the Detroit Lions. Now we have Futility Bowl 3.0 between the New York Giants and Cincinnati Bengals. New York ekes out a victory 19-17. This game featured one main highlight. That was a 103-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Cincinnati. Other than that, the numbers are fairly average. Daniel Jones, 16 of 27, 213, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and no sacks. QBR of 84.7. And guess what? There was a Colt McCoy sighting because one Daniel Jones got injured. He has a hamstring pull, and Colt McCoy, 6 of 10 for 31 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. I guess Golden Tate's back in the coach's good graces because they allowed him, 1, to play, and 2, to throw a pass, but it was incomplete. So Wayne Gallman, he ate all day, 24 carries, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. And receiving, Evan Ingram, 6 catches of 129 yards, no touchdowns. Sterling Shepard, 7 catches, 64 yards, no touchdowns. On the Bengals side, one Byron Allen from fresh out of Arkansas, 17 of 29, 138 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked twice. Second worst QBR of the week, 10.9. Gianni Bernard, 8 carries, 32 yards, no touchdowns. T. Higgins, 9 catches, 44 yards, 1 touchdown. And that is Futility Bowl 3.0. Back to you, Uncle Pete.
And I'm gonna hockey pass that, how hockey assist that to my man Chris B.
There you go.
Slap shot. So I follow on the theme here. Another AFC South team whooping up on an NFC South team whooping up on an AFC West team. Saints Broncos. Saints eased past the QB-less Broncos, winning 31-3. But these numbers on offense aren't as gaudy as you think because Taysom Hill only had 9 for 16, 78 yards interception, averaging 4.9 a pass with a QBR of 33.8. But he also had 10 carries for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 4.4 yards a carry. But yes, the rushing attack was the main point and the reason why they won because Latavius Murray had 19 carries, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 6.5 yards per carry. And then Alvin Kamara, 11 carries, 54 yards, averaging 4.9 a carry, and no receiving. Saints. Only stat line for receiving is Michael Thomas, 50 yards for 4 receptions, and averaging 12.5 yards of reception. And on defense, Demario Davis led the way, 9 tackles, 7 solo, and a sack to Cam Jordan. 2 interceptions, one by Janoris Jenkins and CJ Gardner-Johnson. They held Denver scoreless in the first half and fourth quarter. On the other side, Kendall Hinton, 1 for 9, 13 yards, 2 interceptions, averaging 1.4 pass. QBR of 0.1. Oh, God, terrible. Royce Freeman, 8 carries, 50 yards, averaging 6.3 a carry. Melvin Gordon III, 12 carries, 31 yards, averaging 2.6 a carry. And Philip Lindsay, 9 carries, 20 yards, averaging 2.2 a carry. The only receiving stat goes to Noah Fant, 1 reception for 13 yards on 2 targets. On defense, Draymond Jones led the way with 9 tackles, 5 solo, and sacks to Bradley Chubb, and 2 sacks go to DeMarcus Walker. There was also an interception to Isong Basie, and they held the Saints scoreless in the first. The Saints are in the driver's seat, even though the numbers didn't look very promising, and the Broncos are in third. I should probably pass this to Uncle Pete.
And you're passing it to me. And let me see, do I pass it back? Are we done? I think that's it, right?
That's right.
We covered it. Yes, we did. We covered all the games of the week. I think that's it, right? I believe so.
I did all 5 of mine, or 4 of mine.
Yeah.
I did my 4.
I did mine.
Remember, there are 2 still left to be played.
Yeah,
Right,
the Eagles are playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so check this out, y'all.
Those Ravens.
I don't know if that's just in or somebody just flatlined. And like the Big 3 basketball and former University of Washington Huskies football and basketball player and NBA dunk champion Nate Robinson, who soiled his tough guy image and underwear in the process of getting knocked the poo-poo out of him by YouTuber Jake Paul. Oh, we up.
Boy got slept.
And must I add before we cut it off, one AKA Swaggy P, Nick Young, he said that, hey man, he's not a representative of most of us NBA players and how we are fighting ability. So please, Nate, get back your NBA dunk chip trophies.